Hello YouTubers, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk a little bit about the transmission. The rig I have is this is a 10-inch wheel, and this is probably about a 10-inch, it may even be a 11 or a 12-inch, I'm not sure, I can't remember now. But anyway, it's a regular standard V-belt pot metal, and I just drilled into the rim. This looks like carbon fiber, it's not. It's aluminum. And this is pot metal, so I just drilled into it and put studs through. As you can see, studs through and double nutted on the wheel side, nutted out here on this side. It does have a spacer on the inside to support the inside. It takes a long time to get that. It takes a long time to get that right, to get that really level and straight and symmetrical. But what we are going to talk about is the transmission. What I did on the transmission was put this on it, which is a half-inch fixed bore variable pitch V-belt pulley, right? You can see you can get about $25 from Granger's. They have them. And what that does, right? These set screws, and let's see if you can, I'll turn on some light. You can see these set screws. There's one in there. That'll set screw onto the main shaft. This set screw sets the pitch, but I drilled it all the way through to I drilled that one all the way through to the shaft, and then cut off a little piece of a bolt end, dropped it in there so that this set screw would set and push against that little piece of bolt that slid through that hole against that shaft, and that sets this up nice and even and smooth, right? Now this variable pitch will pitch from, I think it's 2 1/4 or 2 1/2 to 3.75 or 4 inches. I think there's different ones you can get. You basically just loosen this set screw and unscrew this outer. Unscrewing that outer spreads the gap. That'll allow your V-belt to drop further and further into the gap. And as it drops further and further into the gap, that's going to change your gear ratio. Once you find the gear ratio that you want, then you just use the set screw to set it, right? I have mine set at max. So let's take a look at the inside. The inside, this is the way it comes factory. I did this adjustment. I'll explain to you what I did. You put this in the drill press vise, and get it set up and locked in. And you use a 9/16 socket with an extension on it. Get your drill press set up to where it'll spin at high speeds, and this, basically you spin this at freaking high speeds, and then you just take your grinder and grind all of those down, because those are teeth and they're splined for the chained gear drive. And I don't want to use the chained gear drive, and you can see why. Now, once you've got all this figured out and set up, right, you just keep using your micrometer and get it and keep test size fitting this. You want this to fit on there at kind of a tight press. If you get it right with the grinder the first time, you will need no shims in here to get this set properly, and it will be centrifugal. You notice that the shaft is recessed down inside there. To get it onto my scooter, I also ground off the face of this. I don't need that. I did, however, unscrew this, and I tested it all the way down from 2.5, I think, all the way out, all the way up to the 4, which this is the VP 325. Maybe it only goes up to 325. I'm not sure, but you can check it out. When I tested it all the way up, the smallest it'll go and the biggest it'll go. And I want it as big as it'll go, because it'll take the speed, it'll handle the speed. Now, when you get this, it won't be very long before you're into your transmission, and you're going to look in here and say, what's in here? And you should do this as soon as you get it, before you even run it the first time. Okay, so what's going on in here? What's going on in here is this chain is loose as crap. And when you get it, it'll be tight. But the chain is, this is crap chain. It's not even replaceable. These gears are not replaceable. I've looked, I can't yet find gears and chain that I can replace this with. Believe me, when this finally breaks, the modification to this is going to be replaceable gears, replaceable chain. It's going to keep the same gear ratio, but replaceable. So when this is under load, this will spin like this, and this side, the top side of your chain, is going to be tight, right? The bottom side of your chain is going to be loose as crap, and that loose chain is going to slap against the bottom here. So what I've done is wedge this piece of phenolic or plastic reinforced carbon fiber reinforced plastic between the outer case, right, and the inner case. You see how it's got these little grooves in there? You just cut little groove in your plastic so it sets down in there, and then a little groove in this plastic, in the plastic to where that groove, right, sets in there just right. And you put it up here almost right underneath the gear. It'll pile up a bunch of grease, make a ramp for your chain to slide along, and as it gets looser and looser and looser, you can see now it does no longer touch the bottom. This has already got a couple of 100 miles on it. It's got a little bit of wear in there. I'm looking at it. It's probably going to be 1,000 miles before I have to slide that down just about 1/4 of an inch, maybe a 1/2 inch, right? You just keep sliding it a little bit, and then when you get about halfway, flip it over. And so you're going to get a couple of 1,000 miles out of this probably pretty easy. Now, where do you get stuff like that? Well, stuff like that is like this chain slider. You see that chain slider? You can get that. It's a pit bike motorcycle chain slider rear swing arm cover protector universal, right? They're not very expensive. They're basically a fiber reinforced plastic, right? It's designed for the chain to slide across this and wear out. That's what it's designed to do. It's not designed to last forever. It's designed to wear this instead of cutting a hole in your swing arm. So that's why this is designed to wear out, and that way it doesn't make noise in here. And by the way, this thing was freaking noisy. It's no longer noisy. It's nice and quiet. So on the inside, you've got a bearing here, which this bearing actually goes right there, and they just slide into this case. There's nothing retaining them in this case at all. You just push it in there. That's it. It just pushes right in there, right? You line it up, and when you push that back together, that's it. Okay? Ciao.